married a large black snake. Every night, I am tormented by him to the point of wishing I were dead. It happened just a month ago. When my sister and I were gathering herbs in the mountains, we rescued an injured large black snake. A few days later, the doorstep was piled high with betrothal gifts. My parents said it was the mountain god repaying our kindness, wanting to take me as the mountain god's bride. My sister despised that the mountain god wasn't human. She said that since her sister had saved the snake, her sister should be the one to marry it. My family, fearing the mountain god's wrath yet coveting the gifts, forcibly tied me up and sent me to the mountain. My sister, on the other hand, got her wish. She married my former fiancé, who had been studying hard for the imperial exams. Later, a great drought struck, yielding no harvest for hundreds of miles around. Only our village, blessed by the mountain god, barely survived. I became the revered mountain god's bride, worshipped alongside the mountain god in the temple, receiving incense and bows from the people. As for my sister, she married that destitute bookworm who knew only how to read. She had neither enough to eat nor warm clothes, and had to care for her bedridden, ailing mother-in-law. When she came home to visit, my sister Du Kongxian harbored ill intentions. She put poison in my food. She smashed my statue into pieces along with everything else. She also got her retribution, killed by the collapsing statue, born again into a new life. The day the mountain god sent his betrothal gifts, she rushed to be the mountain god's bride. Sister, that poor scholar was always your fiancé. This time, the day to be revered by tens of thousands, should be mine to enjoy. I looked at her with pity as she ate her fill and dressed warmly. Being revered and supported by tens of thousands may not necessarily mean a good life. Hoping she could withstand it, the courtyard was piled high with fresh game, and various precious herbs that are hard to find in the deep mountains, along with a wedding letter tinged with the scent of blood. Looking at all of this before me, I realized with shock that I had been reborn. My younger sister, Li Yuzhu, snatched the wedding letter from father's hands. Her face was excited. It's the mountain god coming to seek a marriage. Big sister is already betrothed to Liang Han. I should also have a share of the mountain god. It should be me who marries him. Seeing her impatient expression, I was utterly shocked, because that's not what she said in the previous life. She had scorned the mountain god for not being human. She cried and screamed about killing herself, refusing to marry no matter what. Yet she's still coveting my fiancé. Liang Han was the most learned scholar for miles around. In the future, he was going to pass the imperial exams and become the top scholar. She wanted to be the top scholar's wife. So she seized this opportunity to incite her family to tie me up and bring me to the mountain. Now I'm certain my little sister has also been reborn. My parents held my younger brother, who was less than a year old. A smile of happiness finally appeared on their faces, which were blue and purple from the cold. Those game meats and medicinal herbs would allow them and my little brother to get through this winter safely. No empty stomachs, no suffering from the cold. As for who married the mountain god, it didn't matter at all. After all, with my sister and I both marrying out, they would receive 2 bride prices. And they could also save on feeding 2 more mouths. My parents and the curious villagers all gathered around my sister with envy. She lifted her chin, flashed me a smug smile, and mouthed silently, "This time, big sister, you'll be the bitter abandoned wife. Time for me to enjoy life." Felt not a trace of jealousy. In fact, I even breathed a sigh of relief. Marrying the mountain god was never something I chose willingly. Liang Han and I shared a mutual affection. They were the ones who forcefully tore us apart. His mother also liked me very much. If I married into that family, I might not necessarily become a resentful wife. Instead, my younger sister thought that the mountain goddess was well-fed and warmly clothed. Being revered by thousands is a good life. But she didn't know how hard it is to live with snakes, insects, rats, and ants in those deep mountains and forests. Since he likes it, then let it be. That group of people was only focused on being happy, not knowing a single character. They dared to marry without even knowing what was written on the marriage certificate. Liang Han had taught me to recognize characters over the years, so I could read it. I opened my mouth to remind my sister, "Do you want me to help you see what's written on the marriage certificate?" But my younger sister Li Yuzhu looked wary. She took away the marriage certificate, as if I were trying to snatch it, guarding it like it was against a thief. What else could a proposal letter say? You want to steal it? No way. You're already engaged, yet you still act so indiscreetly. The mountain god wouldn't take a liking to a woman like you. Be careful of Liang Han, he won't want you either. My mother, afraid of offending. The mountain god quickly scolded me. "Li Yuan, you are already engaged. How could I be worthy of the mountain god? Tomorrow, I'll have Liang Han's family come to propose. If the betrothal gifts aren't enough, I'll marry you off to Cripple Lu from the village committee." Cripple Lu has a face full of pockmarks, is short as a gourd, and limps. That's not even the worst part. His character is also poor. He's older than my father. Since I was little, I've seen him messing around with some women in the village. Drinking also brings out his drunken rages. But she lives alone. She has some savings. For a meager betrothal gift, she would actually marry me off to a man like him. At that moment, the last shred of feeling I had for my family vanished completely. I didn't say another word. At that time, Liang Han was also in the crowd. He is gentle by nature. Before everyone, he was teased until his face turned bright red. Uncle and aunt, rest assured. Tomorrow, I will surely deliver the betrothal gifts, and I will welcome taking the jade bowl as my wife. After she said this, she gave me a reassuring look, a signal for me not to worry. Li Yuzhu shot a glare at Liang Han. She taunted, "A penniless scholar. Can you even come up with 2 bags of millet and half a pig? If you ask me, sister, marrying Cripple Lu would be better. At least you wouldn't have to worry about food or clothing. Following that group of scholars, you are the thinnest." Liang Han has always had a thin skin. Humiliated by her until his face turned red, he couldn't even bring himself to say anything harsh. His retort was nothing but a solemn vow. "I, Liang Han, do what I say. I will go prepare the betrothal gifts right now. Yuan can never marry Cripple Lu." He finished speaking and left in a hurry. I shot a glare at Li Yuzhu, feeling utterly disgusted with this younger sister. As for what is written on that marriage talisman, I believe she will find out once she becomes the mountain spirit lady. The good days she has always dreamed of. Let's hope she lives long enough to enjoy them. In my past life, I was thrown up the mountain to marry that black serpent. Countless times I regretted ever saving him. Under the glamour and brilliance seen by outsiders, the darkness I endured remains unknown to no one. In the deep mountains and ancient forests hidden from the sun, besides the wild beasts, there are only snakes, insects, and ants. An ordinary person simply couldn't survive such a life. What's more, that large black serpent. Besides repaying a debt of gratitude, it had ulterior motives as well. It tortured me to the point where I would rather be dead than alive. Meanwhile, my younger sister Li Yuju ended up with my fiancé. But she felt that Liang Han's family was poor, and she couldn't endure that hard life. Even less was she willing to serve his critically ill, frail mother. All day long, she dreamed of becoming a top scholar's wife. Yet she found fault with their mother and son in every way. She would either beat or scold them. Then came the consecutive severe droughts. All the food in the house went into his stomach. Liang Han was worried about his mother, and had neither money nor grain to travel to the capital for the imperial exam. How could he still become the top scholar? Later, I finally escaped the snake den and returned to the village. I only dared to say I had come back to visit my family. I didn't dare mention a single word about what happened in the mountains. When my sister saw me dressed in shiny fine clothes, she was burning with jealousy, and actually poisoned my food. He was smashing my divine statue, while blaming me for taking away his good life, saying that the hard life he was living should have been mine. In the end, he was crushed to death by the collapsing statue. As for my parents and younger brother, relying on the gold, silver, and jewels I had earned through endless suffering, they lived out the rest of their days in abundance. How could he know? I wished I could live that bitter, impoverished life, rather than suffer in the deep mountains. The good life she wanted. Everything comes at a price. Nothing good falls from the sky for nothing. Li Yuju and I were married on the same day. He had deliberately arranged it. She was married off in grand style. The whole village came to see her off and offer congratulations, hoping to bask in a little of her grace, to receive blessings from the mountain god. But no one attended Liang Han's and my wedding. Only my mother-in-law was there to witness it. Yet I was content. I was happy. In this life, I had finally gotten what I wanted. I had married the man of my heart. I hope my sister gets the life she desires, and can feel just as content. Don't cry when you get to the mountain. Wedding night. The room was utterly humble and bare. The only thing worth anything was this red dress on my body. Liang Han felt he had let me down. He immediately made a vow. He tried to warm my chill. Starting today, I swear, he said, in the future, I will definitely rise above the rest. I will give you a good life. I leaned in his arms, utterly at peace. I believe in you. But that very night, I began to plan for our future. There is still more than half a year until the imperial examinations. Once we have made our travel preparations, let us set out early. Take my mother with us. We will go together. Next year will also be a year of great drought. I need to make plans early. Rather than trudging through famine with an empty stomach when the time comes, it's better to leave early while we still have the strength. I thought Liang Han would hesitate, but unexpectedly he shared the same thought as me. I was afraid you wouldn't be willing to wander with me. This is very good. I truly do worry about Mother and you. I have faith that I can pass the imperial exam. If I do, we won't come back in the future. If I fail, I'll find some job in the capital. I can always support you and Mother. This region has suffered successive droughts. Next year will be the same. The land will be covered with starving refugees. Life is extremely hard. Although Li Family Village enjoys the mountain god's blessing, I dare not take it. That blessing comes at the cost of one's life. I believe Liang Han will definitely pass the exam. Our life now is poor, but the future will surely be bright. After we got married, I kept the household neat and orderly every day, compared to when I was in my parents' home, having neither enough to eat nor warm clothes, and enduring beatings. I am very content. Liang Han studies hard day in and day out. When he rests, he also helps with household chores. My mother-in-law's legs and feet are not convenient. It's a chronic condition, but her eyesight is still good. So she does embroidery at home. I collect medicinal herbs and bring them with her work to sell in town. Occasionally, I can catch some wild pheasants and rabbits. I can also add to the meal. If there's more than I can eat, I take it to exchange for money. Watching the money box get fuller and fuller, I feel full of motivation. I'll be able to set off for the capital soon. Actually, I was able to save money this fast, largely because of my previous life, where I lived in the mountains for some time. The valuable medicinal herbs are all deeper in the mountains. I roughly remember the locations. I just need to prepare the medicine to repel snakes, insects, rats, and ants, and I can go. The others don't dare to venture deep into the mountains. So those medicinal herbs haven't been picked. There are countless of them, but I didn't dare go too deep either. Afraid of running into my good sister and the mountain god. It's just that my luck is really poor. Today I had just gathered half a basket of herbs when I ran into a large black snake coiling around a tree. Fear surged over me like a tide. The shadow that the mountain god cast over me lingers on. My legs even started disobeying my commands. The first time I met the mountain god, his whole body scales were blasted 70 to 80% off by lightning. I used the precious herbs I had painstakingly gathered to heal his wounds. Besides that, I was stopped and scolded by Li Yuju. Just a damn beast. Why bother with him? Such a huge snake. Its gallbladder could fetch a good price. It'd be better to just kill it. Do you have any idea how much these herbs can be sold for today? You want to starve, don't you? I'm not going to starve along with you. I looked at that snake. 2 bumps were already protruding from its head. Just like the elders said about a snake transforming into a dragon, with a head long and feet like legs. Snakes like this usually live for over 100 years. They possess spiritual intelligence. If we just stand by and let it die, we'll likely face retribution in the future. Thinking it wasn't easy for it to cultivate to this stage, I felt a twinge of compassion. Li Yuzu saw that I wouldn't listen to her advice, so she snatched away all the herbs. Later, after treating the black snake's wounds, I also went down the mountain. But I never expected that a beast is still a beast. Even if I saved it, it would still repay kindness with enmity. If I had known this beforehand, I should have just crushed it with a stone back then dug out its gallbladder to sell for money. It's a pity that opportunity was missed and never came again. Now the black snake has grown a tiny pair of feet. The tree elder stared at me intently, full of oppression. He leaned close to me and spoke in human tongue. His voice was icy cold. I remember you. It was you who saved me. Why was it others who were sent up the mountain? I was so frightened I fell to the ground, stammering. Mountain god, spare my life. I am already married, naturally unworthy of the great mountain god. My younger sister is still unmarried, and she has long admired the great mountain god. She insisted on taking my place in the marriage. And besides, she had a part in all of this too. It really was Li Yuju who was eager to marry. Couldn't stop her even if I tried. You can't blame me. The great black snake stared at me chillingly. Its forked tongue almost touched my face, involuntarily reminding me of those dark, sunless days in the past. in a damp, gloomy cave, the terror of a snake's tongue gliding across my face. It finally retracted its head. I see. Very well. That person being your sister will do, but she has fled. If you don't send her back by tomorrow, your whole village will suffer. After laying down these words, the great black snake vanished into the thicket, and I was drenched in a cold sweat from fear. Li Yuzu actually ran away. In truth, back when I first married the mountain god, I couldn't bear the days cooped up in the deep mountains with snakes and insects as companions. I had also thought of running away. After I later learned his true nature, the urge to escape only grew stronger. But the marriage contract was a binding pact. Marrying the mountain god meant selling him my life and soul. If I broke the agreement, not only would my entire family suffer, even the villagers would be implicated, and what the mountain god wanted was far more than just repayment of a debt or a simple bride. So I could only grit my teeth and endure. No matter what torment I suffered, I bore it all. But my younger sister, she threw all caution to the wind. It was she who begged to marry the mountain god in the first place. Now they're gambling with hundreds of lives again as if it were a game. At that time, I wanted to see the wedding invitation right away. It was her who was afraid I would seize the marriage and refuse to give it to me. What's the use of regretting now? I quickly went down the mountain. Miyuzu had nowhere to go. She would definitely return to her parents' home to find her mother and father. But strangely enough, by the time I got back home, Li Yuzu was actually not there. It suddenly hit me. She must have gone to find Liang Han. Sure enough, when I ran back home panting and out of breath, Li Yuzu was dragging Liang Han and shouting loudly. No rudeness. Liang Han was just a fragile scholar. Where had he ever seen such thick skin? Enraged until his handsome face turned red. For the sake of your being Yu Huan's younger sister, I'll let it slide this time. How could you slander her like this? The old lady with difficulty walking picked up a stick and struck leatherless thing Li Yuzu.